Tash and welcome back to my channel, Happy Artist. As you may have seen on my social media already, I have an absolutely amazing recipe that I am so excited to share with you. Yes, this is the recipe using South African products for the bloom technique. As I mentioned in one of my other bloom videos when I first started trying this technique, finding the exact product that you're supposed to use as per Shelley Art in Australia, they're not quite easy to get in South Africa, especially at the moment trying to get things imported, and then as well, yeah, it's not a cheap thing to go for. So I've been studying quite a few different videos on YouTube, trying to understand why you would need to use these different paints and not just our usual acrylic pours. And now that I have a better understanding of what needs to happen, I have 3 products I'm going to share with you, and you can find these at any basic hardware store. I found them at Builders. So your first product that you're going to need to get is this Dulux Luxurious Silk. Make 100% certain though that you get an ultra deep base. I'm going to highlight it here for you. So I think this is probably the most important part, because a lot of us don't seem to get this point correct. This is not a white paint. This is not a house paint. This is not paint. It's the base that is used to mix other paints with. The ultra deep base has no white pigment in it, which is extremely important. You will have seen in my previous video, I didn't understand that. So here I am at Builders saying, I need a white ultra deep base paint. And they were like, what? I confused them a lot, but I said, no, I saw on YouTube, this is what they looked at, until I actually realized it's not white paint. Any white paint will always change your colors into a pastel color. This does not do that. This maintains the color that you are mixing it in with. Yay! Your next product that you're going to need to get is this Easy Seal gloss finish. This is what I'm using instead of the Minwax polycrylic, because there again, I can't seem to find a polycrylic product at the moment, and this has worked very, very well. It's a water-based product, so it won't create any cells. So you're going to use your ultra deep base and your Easy Seal, put them together and create your own pouring medium with these 2 products. I used my kitchen scale because I don't have an art scale at the moment, but I have realized at this point that trying to use the eye specifically for a recipe like this can be a little bit offsetting, so rather try and use a scale. You'll see that I have put a paper towel on top of my scale so that I don't get any paint or gloss or anything on my scale. So to create your pouring medium, you're going to put whatever cup you're going to be using. Don't forget to tar out the weight of the cup on the scale before you start pouring, otherwise you're not going to get the correct results. You're going to use anything between 111 to 115 grams of the Luxurious Silk Ultra Deep Base. Once you've got that set, you're going to add around 55-56 grams of Easy Seal, so that your total grams for your pouring medium comes to 168 or 170 grams of pouring medium. Obviously, if you need less, then drop those grams within their ratios or increase them if you need more. Now that we've got our pouring medium sorted, let's get the paint going. Again, you're going to use the scale. You're going to put your cup on the scale and tar out the weight of the cup. I'm going to use 5 or 6 grams of paint and about 14 grams of the pouring medium that I've now created, coming to a total of 20 grams of paint. This was quite thick, so I slowly but surely added more of my Easy Seal to try and see what the consistency was that was going to work. For me, it landed up being another 8 grams of Easy Seal to get the sort of consistency that I was looking for. Then you need to make a cell activator. Now, for the Australian bloom technique to work, you need to have Amsterdam titanium white and Floetrol, Aussie Floetrol. Unfortunately, we don't really seem to get Aussie Floetrol here. And there is something within Floetrol, there's an ingredient in Floetrol that is different from just any general pouring medium. And that is why it is used as the cell activating layer. So all I did was use my normal acrylic white paint. I then used my pouring medium that I usually use and thinned it down to the consistency that I usually do. And I added my silicone cell activator. This was just an experiment to see how it was going to work. And trust me, it worked. The very, very cool thing about this is that we don't have to stick to the white as your cell activator. I understand that the reason you're supposed to use the titanium white from Amsterdam is because titanium white has a very thick or very heavy consistency. So as white, the pigment itself, it is going to sink through the rest of the colors, which is what does create the lacing to a certain degree, which is why I used white as my first attempt. But I am going to be trying different colors and seeing what happens. This way, your lacing could be blues, pinks, greens, golds, metallics. Very exciting stuff. And last but not least, you need a pillow paint. The one that I'm using over here, the Dulux Gloss Enamel Brilliant White for doors and trims, is quite thick. And you are going to need to thin it down very, very slightly, but be careful. Do not thin this down with water. It doesn't mix with the water very well, and it doesn't have a very good reaction either. So I thinned it down very, very slightly. I used the same sort of ratio when I created my pouring medium for my pillow paint. So again, around 110 to 112 grams of the enamel paint and about 55 grams of Easy Seal. The reason for using the Easy Seal rather is, although it is thinning down the paint very slowly, it's still bonding everything within that paint. For this particular exercise, the pillow paint was still slightly too thick. So in one of my next videos that I'm going to try, I will more than likely thin that down even further by about 5 grams of Easy Seal. Great, now we have our pillow paint, our pouring medium, which we've now used for our colors, and we've got our cell activator ready. The technique is pretty easy. I think we've all seen that before. You pretty much just pour your pillow paint down, pour your colors on in any format really, it doesn't matter. Whether you're wanting to do them in circles, whether you're wanting to do squiggly lines, and then your cell activator on top of that. You can use a straw to blow out the paint on the canvas if you like, or otherwise using a hairdryer, but make sure it's on the cool setting. I tried with the straw first, but because my pillow paint was a little bit too thick still, it didn't move quite so fast, so I moved over to my hairdryer. Once you've blown the paint out a little bit, give it a second or two for it to come back together in the middle. You'll see that elasticity of the paint, which is what you want, and then spin. I specifically did not try and blow all of the paint in all directions. I wanted it to have the sort of composition that it does. And I cannot tell you how excited I was when I got this result. So that's it. Quick and easy. I hope that it has helped you guys. The products are slightly more expensive than just buying acrylic paints and pouring medium at the very beginning, but they seem to last quite a while. I have been using these tins now and I have been experimenting for weeks on end and I'm still doing fine with the volume that I have left. Let me know in the comment section if you have a color combination that you would like me to try out. I'm going to go bloom crazy for a while, so get ready. I hope you have a magical day. Ciao for now. Great. Right. And now that I have a little bit bitter, it wasn't the, oh, that was the wrong one. Section, how well you're doing. Put them together and create, ooh, that's not going to sound good. 3 tins of paint. They're not tins of paint. I wonder, it doesn't have the ingredients. This is what I am using instead of the Min Wax Poly, what do they call it? Polyacrylic. I'm sure this is the shirt. Now that we've got our pouring medium, let's get the paint going. I freaking wonder. I genuinely don't know how I do this every single time. I go on this whole rant and then I'm like, oh freak, I hope it's recording. So yes, it is recording. Trust me, it's not staged. I'm not that good an actress.